Hello everyone, welcome to A Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. After Thanksgiving, the new COVID-19 variant instantly became the focus of attention around the world. The Omicron variant even triggered major global stock markets to plummet on Friday and Tuesday. On Saturday, November 27th, cases of the new Omicron variant had spread from South Africa to the United Kingdom, and the governments of multiple countries urgently decided to shut their borders for flights to and from South Africa. On Friday, November 26, the World Health Organization (WHO) announced that the fifth major mutant strain of COVID-19 had appeared after Delta, Beta, Alpha, and Gamma. It was named after the Greek letter Omicron and has been classified as of concern by the WHO. In the past, the WHO basically named diseases based on the location where the disease first occurred, such as the Spanish flu and the Ebola virus. Ebola was first discovered in the Ebola River area in South Sudan and what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. This way of naming has advantages. For example, it can help people uncover possible relationships between the virus and the local communities and human behavior. However, when the Wuhan virus first appeared, Xi Jinping's old friend and WHO Director General Dr. Tedros changed its naming rule in February 2020. The Wuhan virus was renamed COVID-19, which has nothing to do with its outbreak site. At the time, Tedros explained that the naming of the virus should avoid stigmatizing specific groups or countries. After new variants of the Wuhan virus appeared, all the naming was still based on the countries where they were first discovered, such as the British variant and the Indian variant. By June 2021, the WHO announced new variant naming rules. The WHO would start to use Greek letters to refer to these variants. For example, the British variant is called Alpha, the South African variant is called Beta, and the Indian variant is called Delta. Again, the WHO claimed they did this to try and avoid stigmatizing the countries involved. But this move is in itself politicizing the pandemic, because as we all know, a well-known Italian car manufacturer is called Alfa Romeo, and a well-known American airline is called Delta Airlines. So how can the WHO not be afraid of stigmatizing Italy and the United States? Then, according to the order of the Greek alphabet, the newly discovered variant should be named New or C. However, on November 26, the WHO once again did not follow the rules, naming the new variant Omicron, skipping the Greek letters New and C. The WHO explained its two reasons for the decision in a statement to the Washington Post. Quote, "New is too easily confounded with new, and the C was not used because it is a common surname. Our best practices for naming new diseases suggest avoiding causing offense to any cultural, social, national, regional, professional, or ethnic groups." In this case, the WHO also agrees that the Greek letter C is the same C for Xi Jinping. Senator Ted Cruz tweeted a question. If the WHO is this scared of the Chinese Communist Party, how can they be trusted to call them out the next time they are trying to cover up a catastrophic global pandemic? Senator Tom Cotton also tweeted, "The WHO is a joke. They are more concerned about the feelings of the Chinese Communist Party than they are about public health." In reality, by doing so, the WHO may have avoided directly offending the CCP, but from another perspective, it has the opposite effect, leaving strong impressions to the public that C and the Omicron variant are connected. So today, let's talk about the Omicron variant, which was supposed to be called the C variant. Infectious disease experts say the next few days or weeks will be crucial in determining the severity of the mutation. The WHO stated, more information will emerge in the coming days and weeks. The first South African doctor to alert the authorities about patients with the Omicron variant has told the Telegraph that the symptoms of the new variant are unusual but mild. Other experts are concerned that the variant may not only have increased its ability to spread more effectively, but may also be able to bypass some parts of the immune system to evade the human body's protection mechanisms. Infectious disease specialist Richard Lessos said, all these things are what give us some concern that this variant might have not just enhanced transmissibility, so spread more efficiently, but might also be able to get around parts of the immune system and the protection we have in our immune system. Why might this be the case? According to the BBC, the new strain has 32 spike protein mutations. The spike protein helps the virus to enter into cells, acting as a key to open the door to cells. Compared to the Delta variant, the new strain has twice as many mutations. So experts are concerned that existing vaccines will be much less effective against this new variant. Some experts estimate that the effectiveness of the vaccine will be reduced by 40%. In addition, the new variant has 10 mutations in the receptor binding domain, 5 times that of the Delta variant's mutations. More mutations may mean faster transmission, but more data is still needed to really understand it. Different governments' responses to the new variant have been staggering. The United Kingdom was the first to act, issuing a flight ban against South Africa just hours after South African health authorities reported the Omicron variant. Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced a plan to combat the spread of the new strain in the UK. The plan is nothing new, just more injections for the British people. Johnson's plan is to expand the number of people who have gotten a third shot. In the next 3 weeks, 6 million booster shots will be administered in England. The British government will then review the effectiveness of all the new measures within 3 weeks. Many other countries quickly follow suit after England. The European Union, the United States, Russia, and Israel are all started to introduce travel restrictions and even travel bans against South Africa and some other countries. Japan has been more thorough. It announced on Monday morning that it would immediately suspend the entry of all foreign tourists from around the world. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros was also quick to express his desire to push for an international agreement to combat future pandemics. He said that Omicron shows the need for global accord on pandemics. Are the WHO and the governments overreacting to the new virus? The impact of this new variant on society is not yet visible. From another perspective, we can see the pandemic first began in Wuhan, China, and the variants kept appearing. And now, following the naming convention, it has come to see the head of the evil CCP. Is this just a coincidence? Or does it indicate that the king of the CCP virus has appeared? Once the king of the CCP virus appears, what will it bring to the world? COVID-19 is called the CCP virus. Now the new variant implies the head of the CCP. Even the WHO has skipped new and C in its naming. The virus will not change its nature just because it has a different name. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.